29ers, Gigi is pumped to bring you this festive episode. Christmas is the best time of the year. Don't you agree? Instead of talking about e-waste, which is a downer, we will focus on the real spirit of Christmas and how to spice up your holiday with some fantastic games for your family and friends. I want you to know that you want to take advantage of this. We'll be playing Christmas Gift Bingo, Dirty Santa, Christmas Guess Who, and Mr. and Mrs. Wright. We'll resume our regular topics on January 2nd, but for now, let's get into the festive mood. Let's have some fun.
Ho ho ho, 29ers! It's Gigi. I am super pumped to bring you this festive episode. Christmas is the most beautiful time of the year. Don't worry about the e-waste. We will talk about that in the next episode. Today, we will focus on the true spirit of Christmas and how to spice up our holidays with some fantastic games. You are going to love them. Christmas parties are always full of joy. Christmas tunes, shopping, laughter, hugs, and yummy food. But the real fun comes from the games we play. You are missing out if you have yet to play any games at Christmas. But don't worry, there's still time to catch up. I know we cannot play them together online, but as they say, where there is a will, there is a way. So I'm bringing the games to you, my 29ers. These are some of the best ones ever, and I hope you and your family and friends will have a blast playing them. And remember, you are only as old as you feel. Everyone can join the fun. Our fantastic announcer Caleb will tell you the rules and 2 stories for Mr. and Mrs. Wright's game. You can also use his video of the Mr. and Mrs. Wright stories if you want to.
That is a great idea. Everyone can participate instead of having someone to be a dedicated reader. First, we have Dirty Santa, a game that will spice up any holiday party. The rules are simple. Each participant brings a wrapped gift to the party, and a predetermined value and theme are usually set. The gift should not have labels or tags revealing the giver or recipient. Then, the participants draw numbers to determine the order of play. Starting with the person who drew number 1, they pick a gift from the pile and unwrap it to show everyone. The next person, number 2, can either steal the gift from number 1 or choose a new one from the pile. If number 2 steals, then number 1 gets to choose another gift from the pile. The game continues, with each person having the option to steal an open gift or pick a new one. However, a gift can only be stolen a few times, like 3 times, before it becomes locked and cannot be stolen again. But wait, there's more. Here are some variations of Dirty Santa that can add even more excitement to the game. One is the guessing game. Participants must try to guess who brought their gifts or what is inside them before opening them. The person with the most correct guesses wins a prize. Put a face to the gift. Each participant writes their name on a card and puts it in a hat. After drawing a card, they must match the name to the gift they brought. The person with the most matches wins a prize. White Elephant, similar to Dirty Santa, but with a twist. Participants can only steal a gift once, and once the gift is stolen a few times, it becomes frozen and cannot be stolen again. Dirty Dice. Participants roll a pair of dice instead of drawing numbers to determine their action. For example, rolling a 1 means opening a new gift, a 2 means stealing an open gift, and so on. Dirty Bingo. Each participant gets a bingo card with different actions or scenarios related to the game. The first person to get a bingo wins a prize. Next, we have Christmas Gift Bingo, a fun way to exchange gifts with friends or family. Each player brings a wrapped gift to the party, and the host provides the bingo and call number cards. The host shuffles the call number cards and draws them one at a time, announcing the number or item to the players. The first person to get 5 in a row vertically, horizontally, or diagonally shouts bingo, and gets to choose a gift from the table to unwrap. The game continues until all the gifts are taken, but there's a twist. The next person who gets a bingo can either choose an unwrapped gift or steal one from someone else. Lastly, we have Mr. and Mrs. Wright, a game that only requires some gifts and a story. The story is about a couple getting ready for Christmas but having some mishaps. The game is simple. Everyone brings a wrapped gift, or the host can provide the gifts, and everyone sits or stands in a circle. One person reads the story out loud, and every time they say right or left, the gifts are passed in that direction. You can also use other words that sound like right or left, such as right, bright, leftover, and right. This makes the game more fun and tricky because you must listen carefully to the story and the words. The game ends when the story is finished and you get to keep the gift you have. The story can be anything you want, but Gigi provides you with two. The first is from Ultimate Camp Resource. Okay, are you ready? Here I go. This story is about Mr. and Mrs. Wright. One evening they were baking cookies. Mrs. Wright called from the kitchen, "Oh, no, flour is none left. You will need to go right out to the store." "I can't believe you forgot to check the pantry," grumbled Mr. Wright. "You never get anything right." "Don't be difficult, dear," replied Mrs. Wright. "It will only take 20 minutes if you come right back. Go to 51st and Peoria and turn left at the stop sign. Then go to 61st Street and turn right, and there it will be on your left," declared Mrs. Wright as her husband left the house. Mr. Wright found the store and asked the clerk where he could find the flour. The clerk pointed and said, "Go to aisle 4 and turn left. The flour and sugar will be on your left." Mr. Wright made his purchase and walked right out the door. He turned left but couldn't remember where he had left his car. Suddenly, he remembered that he had driven Mrs. Wright's car and was in the driveway at home right where he had left it. He finally found the right car and put his purchase right inside. Eventually, a weary Mr. Wright found his way home. Mrs. Wright had been waiting impatiently. "I thought you would be right back," she said. "I left all the cookie ingredients on the kitchen counter, and the cats got into the milk. You'll have to go right out again." Mr. Wright sighed. He had no energy left. "I am going right to bed," he said. "Anyway, I need to go on a diet, so I might as well start right now. Isn't that right, dear?" That sounds like a fun game. Let me read the second one. Ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, a couple named Mr. and Mrs. Wright. They lived in a big house on the right side of town. One day, they decided to go for a drive in their new car. They turned right at the first intersection, then left at the second one. They kept driving until they saw a sign that said wrong way. They realized they had made a mistake and turned around. But as they did, they saw a police car behind them with flashing lights. The officer came over and asked them for their license and registration. He looked at their papers and said, "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court." Mr. and Mrs. Wright were shocked and confused. What had they done wrong? They asked the officer why he had stopped them. He said, "You were driving on the wrong side of the road. You should have stayed on the right." Mr. and Mrs. Wright felt embarrassed and apologized. They said they had gotten lost and didn't see the sign. The officer said he understood and let them go with a warning. He told them to be more careful next time and follow the right directions. Looking for some fun holiday activities? Try these gift exchange games that are sure to make everyone laugh. You can take, switch, and steal from others, but don't worry, it's all in good humor. You'll get something and be ready for surprises and giggles. You might even end up with something unexpected. Feel free to snatch. That's what makes it fun, and it's the only time you can do it without getting in trouble or being judged. The point is to have fun and enjoy the game while creating memories with your loved ones. Happy holidays to you all.
Wow, thank you, Caleb. Holidays are times to take a break from our daily routine, spread love, and reach out to others. We hope you will take the time to play some of these games and be with your family. So, dear 29ers and future 29ers, let us celebrate this holiday season by being grateful for all we have and praying for less fortunate people. Let us also join in prayer for world peace, so that no one has to be away from their loved ones due to wars, kidnappings, or any other unforeseen disasters. As we enter the Christmas season, let us remind ourselves that Christmas is a celebration of God's incredible act of love. God loves the world so much that He sent us His only Son so that Whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. And this is the true essence of Christmas. We should all strive to live as a loving, Christ-centered family during this time. Let us put aside our differences and unite in fellowship with love, joy, and peace, just as Jesus would want. Dr. G and I will turn to a Christmas version of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 for its beautiful and timeless message about love.
Happy holidays to all of you. It is a joy to have you join us today as we celebrate this special time of the year. As Gigi mentioned, Christmas is about love, joy, and peace. We hope this holiday season brings you all the love and happiness you deserve. Let's also take a moment to pray for world peace, so that everyone can be surrounded by their loved ones during this meaningful time. And now, as Gigi said, we would like to share a Christmas version of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which we found on Tullish.com, a Roman Catholic church in Ireland. This version perfectly captures the true meaning of Christmas, and it is something worth sharing. Thank you once again for being a part of this special episode. Here it goes. If I decorate my house perfectly with streamers, strings of twinkling lights and shining balls, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another decorator.
If I tire myself out in the kitchen, baking dozens of mince pies, preparing gourmet meals, and arranging a beautifully adorned table, but do not show love to my family, I'm just another cook.
If I work at the soup kitchen, sing carols on the church steps, and give all that I have to charity, but do not show love to my family, it profits me nothing.
If I decorate the tree with bubbles and fairy lights and attend a myriad of pre-Christmas parties, but do not focus on Christ, I have missed the point.
Love stops the cooking to hug the child.
Love set aside the decorating to listen to loved ones.
Love is kind, though harried and tired.
Love doesn't envy another's home that has coordinated Christmas china and table linens.
Love doesn't yell at the kids to get out of the way, but is thankful they are there to be in the way.
Love doesn't give only to those who can give in return, but rejoices in giving to those who can't.
Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
Love never fails. Video games will break. Pearl necklaces will be lost. And golf clubs will rust. But giving the gift of love will endure.
Wow, I loved it. That's what Christmas should be about. Gigi, this passage from 1 Corinthians is a powerful reminder of the true essence of love. One that is patient, kind, and selfless. It perfectly captures the spirit of Christmas when we come together to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and the love he represents. Let us all take this word to heart and spread love and kindness to everyone around us this holiday season.
Let's love be our priority indeed, today and always. And to wrap up our festive gathering, we have a special treat for you. It is the beautiful poem, One Solitary Life, which tells us about the impact of Jesus. Jess will recite it for us. Enjoy the poem. Jess, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready. One solitary life. He was born in an obscure village, a child of a peasant woman. He grew up in another obscure village, where he worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. Then, for 3 years, he was an itinerant preacher. He never had a family or owned a home. He never set foot inside a big city. He never traveled 200 miles from the place he was born. He never wrote a book or held an office. He didn't go to college. He had no credentials but himself. He did none of the things that usually accompany great. While he was still a young man, the tide of popular opinion turned against him. His friends deserted him. He was turned over to his enemies. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed to a cross between two thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had, his coat. When he was dead, he was taken down and laid in a borrowed grave. 20 centuries have come and gone, and today he is still the central figure for much of the human race. All the armies that ever marched, all the navies that ever sailed, and all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, put together, have not affected the life of man upon this earth as powerfully as this one solitary life.
I presume you all know that One Solitary Life just read is about the life of Jesus, who changed the world with his simple life. We don't know who wrote it, but some say it was James Allen Francis. Thanks, Jess, for reading this beautiful story, and happy holidays. And happy holidays to you too, all up there.
Ho ho ho! That is all for today, folks. Remember to catch us again on January 2nd, 2024. We hope you have a wonderful time with your loved ones and celebrate the holidays in style, the 29th style. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from us here. You rock, 29ers. And remember, if you don't like what you get for Christmas, you can always give it to someone else. It's the thought that counts, right? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
Those beautiful songs of Christmas that you have been enjoying are a courtesy of London Symphony Orchestra.